dare I hope your search was finally successful? Oh, thank the Hist. I thought it lost forever. I have a final favor to ask you, traveler. Would you be so kind as to bury the branch right at the base of the Hist roots before us? I've carried this branch for many years. It was the only piece of my old home that I had left. No family, no friends. Just a reminder of what once was. But now I have a new village, a new home. The time has come to put the past to rest. By your hands, my traveling has come to an end. Thank you. A foolish thought, perhaps, but I feel as though a piece of my tribe is now a part of this village. I suppose you're right. I was as much a part of my tribe as any branch of our Hist. Here, your reward. Thanks to your actions, I feel as though I can finally find peace. And after so many years of mourning, that is no small thing. Now is the time to work towards the prosperity of my village. I've already offered my services as a healer, of course. I have quite a bit of experience in the field, given my various travels. I mourned the loss of my village greatly. Every waking moment I thought of that night. The screams, the blood, the ash. So I chose to leave Murkmire. Still, though, I carried the branch and the memories. Many places, though I spent most of my years in the friendly cities of elsewhere. It was there that the name Hands That Heal was gifted to me, due to my magical skill. And then, after many long years, I made the choice to come home. I simply realized how greatly I missed my homeland. The thought of dying on foreign soil, away from the roots of the Hist, was too sad to bear. And so, here I am.
Treeminder, if you saw what I saw, there would be no question.
If you hadn't run, you might understand.
Peace. Here is the one I must hear from.
The hatching pools recover due to your efforts. You are truly a friend to the Hist.
Biko Gel, I have heard much of the tragedy of our loss, and the part you played in ending it. The Hist chose wisely to entrust our troubles to you. We owe you much already, but I have one last request for you, if you would hear it. Hasara betrayed us in ways beyond my imagining. Iskanaz is right to be wary, but when I look upon her and her daughter, I feel only pity. You know the truth of this tragedy better than I ever could. It should be you that decides Hasara's fate. I can sense its relief, the calm of knowing that its children no longer suffer. What that means for Hasara's daughter is unclear. Our Hist does not answer me about Hasara. I feel its faith in us, so I put my trust in you. Speak to the others. Return when you have decided.
You know it's not true what Iskanaz is saying about her. You know it. He's a coward. She needs the Hist. It can help her. She can't be. She just can't. If they won't accept us, I'll take her somewhere else. We'll have each other. That's all we need. That doesn't matter. I'll love her however she is. If I have to care for her until my dying day, I will.
Please, you have seen the horrors that Rina Kal wrought. She soaked that corruption into the very essence of her creations. We cannot allow her poisons to seep into our roots. I beg you. You think me cruel to believe so? I swear to you, it gives me no joy. One day, I might even forgive Hasara for what she's done. But if there is even the smallest chance that showing her pity will harm the tribe, I will close my heart 1,000 times. They should go, far away from our tribe and our Hist. From any Hist. Never to trouble us again. If the Hist believes you are right, then you are right. I will have to hope we did not misjudge its intentions.
This is not a simple matter, nor a matter to be rushed. Take all the time you need. Hasara and Iskanaz will both want to plead their case to you, but I will understand if you do not wish your judgment to be swayed. I can think of no tribe that has had to weigh such a crime. There are many who would put her to death for far less. But that is not the Brightthroat way. If we cannot find it in ourselves to forgive, then we will forget. Exile is my answer. It is often easier to clip a withered branch for the sake of the whole tree. But with thought and care, a troubled limb can regain its strength. Hasara and her daughter are broken boughs, but they may yet be mended if we make the effort to heal them. There are many interpretations. Charitably, it may mean that she is not ailing as the other hatchlings were. But it is easy to see that she is not whole. I must consider the alternatives. That our Hist does not feel her pain because she is not of our tree. When I look at her, I do not see a Brightthroat, or even a Vishkalil. She is unmarked, tribeless, and her eyes are as blank as her scales. She may be of no tree at all. We are born of the Hist, shaped by the Hist. And when we die, we return to the Hist, to be born and shaped anew. Can the same be said of this one? Rina Kal gave her life, but can one born beyond the Hist's roots possess a soul? I have no answer. Then I will hear you as I hear our chimes. What is our stream's course? I feared I was being sentimental, but I am relieved to hear you offer them compassion. The Brightthroats have always navigated treacherous waters by linking arms and unifying our strength. Today shall be no different. We will do everything we can to restore Hasara and her child to unity with the Hist. There will always be a place among our tribe for these two, and for you, Biko. I would be honored to call you rootkin for what you've done for our tribe. Make yourself at home here. You have earned a rest. Come, Hazara. We have ignored your pain for too long. Now it is our pain, and we will overcome it together.
Come, my love. Let's go home.
It will be a long time before the tribe accepts them. Even Brightthroats have limits to their trust. I am hopeful that we will all grow stronger from this ordeal. It will be a...
We should look at your child, Hazara. You as well. The healing hut will be quiet.
Give her a minute more. She's overwhelmed. It's all right, dear. Thank you for this. She'd thank you too if she could. We saved one. With what I've done, I don't know. My heart is so heavy it would sink into the black murk, if not for this small mercy the Hist has shown me. If I can be a good mother to her, then it won't have been for nothing. No, I am lucky to have her. She's my reason for being. Zalcise, Sacred Sprout. It's a name I hope she'll grow out of.
The brightest, loudest throats croak your name, Biko. This makes it difficult to sleep, but under the circumstances, I think I can forgive you. That business with the egg tenders was no midday wallow. Now we have something to discuss, I think. Of course you do. This matter of the remnant, you must understand, it is fragile as a marsh robin's egg. Even so, I trust your heart, and truthfully, we could use the help. Brightthroats are negotiators, not warriors, and war is brewing. All answers lie with the Hist. It is just a matter of hearing what it has to say. Chimemaker Shuvu can help us. Our Hist speaks through the wind, you see. Its words rustle through the boughs, and our chimes sing out its counsel. Poetic, right? Old Shuvu spends his time in the glade of chimes, to the west of the village. In my youth, I would spend all my time listening to the chimes. It is a very good place. If you go there now, I will join you. You will like Chimemaker Shuvu, I think. Very wise and very pleasant, like one of your gray-muzzled bark dogs. Let's make our way to the glade. The remnant. It is not a thing known, but a thing felt. Like rain on the shoulders, or a brief whiff of cinnamon grass. Difficult to explain to outsiders, I think. Ha, this is fair. When I was a hatchling, a very old Nahish elder told me a story about a lost tribe, one that lived far away in houses of stone. She did not speak about the remnant, but its name swelled in my heart. I do not know why. My knowing tree is barren. Sorry, Biko. Better to learn these things together anyway. For you, at least. Just think, if I knew where the remnant was, I would probably have hidden it by now. Then you would never get to see it. Is the name not clear? It is a glade. It is full of chimes. Some people think that the Hist speaks to us, just as I speak to you. Using words, you see. We call this kahupwo, the mouth talk. Very rare, Biko. Most Hist speak without words. In Brightthroat Village, the Hist speaks through chime music.
Your betrothed awaits you, dear suitors. No need to be shy. Everyone gets the jitters, but this is ridiculous.
It takes much patience to keep a Vosasatel in tune, especially if the frogs are in mating season. Please excuse me.
This is what I'm talking about. How hard is it to boldly strut up to a stranger and express some interest? You get it. If we had more suitors as stiff-spined as you, the ceremony would be well underway. The bonding ritual? Are you not here to witness our most sacred tradition? It's a beautiful, lively affair. Usually. Our guests have not seen fit to join us for the ceremony. Hist knows we have been gracious hosts to the suitors of our neighboring tribes, plying them with feasts and phlegm wine. But now that it's time to renew vows of kinship, their limp is wilting lilies when they should be rising to the occasion. Normally, the Black-Tongue tribe are eager to participate. Many a Brightthroat can call the Black-Tongues their root kin. But the only thing Wakumat has been quick to provide today are excuses. I hope he'll be more forthcoming with you. Oh no, he is a bearer of Russell the Infirm. Russell is a frequent visitor and suitor, beloved sire to many a Black-Tongue and Brightthroat since before my egg mother was in her shell. Normally he would be first in line for the bonding. It's true, Russell must be carried about by his bearers for most everything. But before the bonding, he's like a Saxhleel possessed. His vigor is legend. Last season's bonding ended with his bungalow stilts driven flush to the ground. The others are new to me. Bihuna is one of the root house people, so if she puts hands on you, it isn't a romantic gesture. Hold tightly onto any familial jewels. Dite, on the other hand, is as inscrutable as any moss skin. Never the ghost people or stone pile people, certainly. We used to see more of the mire dancers and copper eyes, but we haven't seen much of them since they were taken to Mazatoon, and sadly the dead water remained distant and reserved as always. Our longtime allies, the Black Tongues, the Moss Skins, and the Root House people. They aren't normally so apprehensive. The Black Tongues dwell in the shadow places, giving praise and offerings to Sithis. They take great pains to ensure as many of their clutches are born under the sign of shadow as possible. Perhaps too much, but I would not question their methods. Only when I'm reminded that they know every root and flower's killing secret, all the more reason to welcome them as friends, yes? You'll find no more attentive parents outside the Brightthroats, and they are great alchemists and gardeners also. We welcome them with open arms, of course, but only after our valuables are carefully tucked away. They take what they want by quiet theft or intimidation. Failing that, they take it by force. Better to give what you can afford to lose. They are brutes, yes, but useful brutes when war winds blow. Their strength rivals that of the Dead Water tribe. They just lack the Naga's wisdom. In the end, they are still our neighbors. Better to welcome them as friends than face them as enemies. The Moskins value peace above all else, and peace without requires peace within. They go where the river takes them, no matter the circumstances. Of all the tribes, they are the most serene. Death, war, lean years, nothing ruffles their frills. More indifferent. All the world's horrors, the quiet fears that keep men in Mur awake at night, all of it rolls off their backs. People think we Brightthroats take things in stride. The Moss-skins make us look like fretful ducklings. Of course, though I hope it will not take much longer. The Brightthroat betrothed have waited long enough already, I think. If we are to set the mood right, best to do so soon. It's the future of our tribe. The bonds we create today ensure the peace and prosperity of future generations by tying our tribes together as one. The bonding ritual ensures every generation of Brightthroats calls their neighbors eggkin. Marrying? It is a joyous time, yes, usually. Most tribes have festivities surrounding bondings, but none compare to that of the Brightthroats. Travelers come from far and wide to join the celebration and witness the joining of so many tribes.
Is that... little Zukas, come to visit your old friend in the Glade of Chimes? He is always so busy now. I recall when he stood only as tall as the Kepo grass. And you, Xavier, what can this stiff-legged crafter do for you? Remnant of... My. This is no small question, Zuka's friend. Look around you. Each of these chimes sing out a tangle of melodies, but only one tangle. One chime speaks of eggs and hatching. Another jangles about death and journey's ends. The Ogel is clever, Zukas. Yes, my hands gave birth to every chime you hear. But the remnant, only one chime can sing its truth. One made by sun-blessed hands in an old time. Older than my egg-mother's egg-mother. A chime as old as our tribe. Locked away, hidden under mud and lost memories. Understand, our egg-sires did not want this truth drifting free on the wind. But Zukas trusts you, so I will trust you. Go to the Wither Vault. Claim the chime. We will learn its truth together. The Wither Vault is well north of the village. I would guide you, but my knees grow stiff as kindling wood. Little Zukas can aid you, I have no doubt. Be warned, even Brightthroats who know the mire like their own scales face danger there. Since before he hatched, I called him the Little Stump. He would plant himself at the foot of the listening tree and stare up at the branches, listening, always listening. I thought he might take my place one day. You should ask him. Treeminder Pavu saw the old sap in Zukas. She made him a root herald, and his days grew short and lean like an underfed guar. Eventually, he had no time to listen anymore. All is as the Hist wishes it to be. One day, when he has grown old and thin like me, he may return to the glade. Until then, he does the tribe's work. There is no shame in that. None at all.
The path to the remnant bends like an oxbow. Let's find this chime. Leaving the glade always puts rocks in my sandals. Sad, you know. One day the two of us should share some phlegm wine there and just listen.
Watch your step. You never know what might jump out of the murk to kill you. You'll find no sanctuary in this swamp, sister. Murkmire is where the Dreadfather takes his meals. All children of Sithis are welcome in Murkmire. You just might find yourself in the Dreadfather's embrace sooner than you like if you track mud through his house. I'm just here to welcome a kindred spirit to my home. What kind of hostess would I be if I just left you to your own devices? You might get yourself into trouble. The 5 tenants won't protect you from the wrath of Sithis here. You're in its teeth. If the Night Mother calls on you, obey, but be discreet. There's no sanctuary for you here, and you'll receive no special privilege. Fear and the Blade will be your only allies, but I might be your guide. I'm sure we'll cross paths again. Don't find me. I'll find you.
The swamp grows thick here. A far cry from Lilmoth's mud puddles, I think.
Verona! Drula! Where are you two? Hey, I know you! You borrowed a blessing stone from my construction site in Vivek City and stopped the moonlit from falling out of the sky. Now I feel kind of embarrassed. My current problem isn't anywhere near as important as saving a living god. Verona and her beloved pet Drula went for a walk in the swamp hours ago, and they still haven't returned. My wife can take care of herself, but she's as unfamiliar with this terrain as I am. I fear the worst may have happened. Verona saw some ancient Argonian stonework out in the swamp. She loves to study the techniques of long-dead masons. Use this whistle, and Drula should come running. If you pet him and tell him he's a good boy, he'll lead you directly to Verona. Drula loves that whistle. He comes running whenever we blow it. I'm sure Verona just got caught up examining an interesting piece of carved stone, but I appreciate you going to check on her. I'll just wait here in case they return. Drula's our Bantam Gua. Cute little slobberer was a marriage gift, and he's been with us ever since. He's more attached to Verona than to me, truth be told, and she's trained him well. Just blow the whistle and he'll come running. Verona constantly complains that we never take a vacation, so when the opportunity presented itself, I set up this trip to visit Murkmire. She was suddenly surprised, but I get the feeling she was hoping for somewhere with a bit less mud. We met on one of my construction sites. I was just an assistant overseer on that project, and Verona was one of our stonemasons. She's really good at her craft. Whenever she gets the chance, she loves to learn new techniques for working stone. Same as always, thanks to you. Bar Dao hangs peacefully above the city. Lord Vivek writes and sings in his palace, and our new archcanon has adapted well to his responsibilities. In fact, things are so quiet that we decided to take this trip.
I thought doing work for Gila would prepare me for adventuring in Murkmire. So far, none of the insect-repelling candles have worked, and all that salted meat leaves my mouth drier than a desert.
I cannot imagine the Brightthroats ever holding territory here. Very little wind, hollow sea. There it is, just up ahead. This place dries my scales. The Nahish elders never speak of this place, not even to me. Stay watchful, Biko. I hear something. The chimes. They sing without wind. Just ahead. Kayak, I hate this. Good work, Biko. Let us get back to Brightthroat Village.
Hey, you're the champion of Vivek. I remember you. Did Drula find you and bring you out here? Oh, he's such a good boy. Shiralas sent you. She worries too much. But that's why I love her. We did get a little turned around, and then that creature started sniffing around. Now that you're here, I think we can make a break for it. Drula can lead me back to Shiralas. Come on, Drula. Let's go find Shiralas.
Nesting in the wither vault, soiling the chime.
What hope have I? What song have I? A grave stake I have not. It was taken by pale hands away into the swamp. It is lost, just like my egg brother's honorable end. The breeze brings a traveler, a newfound hope. You hold the gravestake of Tunzi, an elder most kind and now departed. But oh, how can I complete my journey? My injury hinders, and the road is long. There is a glade within the swamp, where Tunzi first set eyes upon his beloved. It was there that he wished the gravestake to be placed. As grave singer, I must grant this wish. But perhaps you would be willing to help. I beg your help in this matter most grave. Will you set right what another so cruelly made wrong? A glade within the swamp, where a first love was formed. A tree it once had, but now it does not. It is gone, just as Tunzi is now gone. A fitting place for his memory to rest. Tunzi possessed a kind heart and soft word for all. The moss skin tribe mourned deeply when he left us. He would often travel to the Brightthroat village to take place in the bonding ritual. It was during this time that he met his beloved. A dry skin visited our peaceful village. I knew there was greed in his heart, but took little heed. The Zanmir hold many useless trinkets that we Zaxliel care little for. But when he fled with the gravestake, I had no choice but to give chase. Yes, though not by the thief's pale hand. Journeying through the darkened swamp, I did not realize a hackwing stalked me. In my haste to escape, I twisted my ankle upon an upturned root. It is because of this that I ask you to fulfill my duty. They are memorials of lifetimes past. As the years progress, we carve our story upon the wood. Our triumphs and fears, our laughter and follies, all must be remembered. As Gravesinger, it is my sworn duty to protect these memories. Like a battle cry I lead, like a lullaby I soothe, like a funeral dirge I mourn. My song guides the souls of our departed back to the loving embrace of the Hist. It is also I who ensures the burial rites of my tribe. Yes, as Gravesinger, I must ensure this final burial rite is enacted. That is why I traveled to this village, despite my injury. To fail in this task is to disgrace the memory of Tunzi.
nesting in the Wither Vault, soiling the chime. My rage quill is engorged.
Be calm, old Shuvu. No one wants to see that.
The wind welcomes you, Zuka's friend. You have the remnant chime? Please, settle an old lizard's spines. The beast Zukas mentioned, it did not gnaw or shed water on it, right? Hist be praised. Take the chime to the listening tree and hang it there. When you are ready, clutch this prayer stone and focus. If your cause is just, the Hist will answer. If not, I guess we have to find a better place to bury this chime.
I forgot what I'm drinking to.
Perfect. Now center yourself in the glade and focus the remnant's mystery on the prayer stone. We seek your guidance and ask the blessing of your song. Sap Mother, Bow Father, please hear our petition and speak the remnant's truth. I hear nothing. A tangle of whispers, nothing more.
That can't be. Wait, I hear it, Shuvu. I hear it. The Hist sings the remnant's truth.
Truly? Ha! Ah, little Zukas, I knew you had a chime maker's heart. Come, tell us what you hear.
Wait, I don't get it.
Zukas, my little listener. As mud as my mother, how many secrets have passed me by that he might have heard? He has the soul of a chime maker. I knew it. One day he will find his way to the wind and music. If not in this life, then in the next.
I am confused. Shuvu is the wisest listener in the tribe. How could he hear nothing when I heard it so clearly? He is very old. Maybe he just needs his ear cavity flushed. Smoke of stars to see what once was seen, sunless sap to hear what once was heard. A bramble of words. I appreciate the Hist's poetry, but this is not an ideal time for it, I think. I do not know. Hopefully Shuvu can teach me how to decipher the words. It will take time, but I will find you if I learn more. Perhaps friend Famia could help also? Or Cassandra? They both know the marsh's stone secrets. They could prove useful.
Zukas and I have much to talk about. This riddle may dry my membranes, but you have my word as a bright throat that we will see it solved. Safe journeys, Zuka's friend.
Do not crowd us, Ojel. You will disturb Ruzo's focus. Never. He is dead. He entered a trance to steel himself for the dread-fathering elixir, but after we administered the potion, he never awoke. It seems Sithis felt Ruzo had children enough. Our most potent mixture, brewed to ensure even these bright throat bonds are blessed by the great creator. He did not foam at the mouth or expel blood from every orifice, so I think it was just his time. You earned your rest, shaper of generations. No one could fill the void Ruzo left behind. Kayak, I suppose I must try. For the good of the tribe, I will need more of our dread-fathering elixir. Ruzo drank it to the last drop.
There is a rare plant, the Leviathan Pizzle. It is the key ingredient to the elixir. Find one, and I will join the bonding ritual. I should warn you, it resembles many toxic mud blossoms. This sketch should help you avoid them. We honor Sithis above all else. Raj Sithis the Changer, not the Destroyer from the Dusk Times. But ends are often beginnings. There are no purer agents of change than the Shadow Scales, so we prepare our children from birth to learn their secrets. We bathe their eggs in our brews to ensure they are hatched under the favored sign and give them their first taste of the swamp's deadly secrets. They are nursed on the milk of toxic weeds until strong enough for the Shadow Scales to come claim them. It's one of the 14 Zalthek, or sacred plants. Each plant brings joy or death, depending on the measure. In the bonding, Ruzol ensured the Leviathan Pizzle brought great joy. This season, we will see. Because there was no better choice. There has never been a Black Tongue who could drink as deeply from the dread-fathering elixir and live to see his children grown. He was frail in all other pursuits, but in the bonding, he was a divine tool. More than anyone has had reason to count. He was but a young whelp when his talent was discovered. Half of Murkmire may bow their heads as we bear his body back to our Hist. You have not succumbed to the swamp's poison lips. Was the pizzle jutting out from the short grass as I described? Oh, this one is aptly named. Let me add it to the mixture I have already prepared. If I survive, you may tell Topeth I will do my part. All right, it is finished. Sithis, use me as you will. I am warmed to the core by the presence of the Dread Father. Can you not hear my heart throb as I swell with his power of creation? I carried Ruzel to prepare me to bear his legend. For the Black Tongues I will sow 1,000 generations. What are we waiting for? Those other suitors may sulk if they wish, but Waku Mat is ready to bond.
You're not cutting me off, are you?
Wasik eyes are watching. Can you feel them? I do not like it. I do not fear the limp fins. I want my dowry. I took it from my betrothed fairly. I want it back. Guards took it, hid it from me. Topeth tells me my betrothed has gifts for me instead. But I do not want gifts. I want my dowry. I would take it back, but I am watched. Because it is my dowry. The Hist meant it for me. Bright throats do not understand this. If they will not respect our custom, I will not respect theirs. No dowry, no bonding. The Wasik goods keeper took my dowry to the storehouse for keeping safe. Go find it. It is our way. The root house people do not make. When we need meat, the swamp provides. When we need crafts and treasures, other tribes provide. The Hist compels them to make these things. They do not know that the Hist means for us to take them. If I leave out a bowl of slug paste and a nettle toad eats it, this is no theft. The root house people heed forces greater than Limpfin law. The Brightthroats do not see. It is the will of the Hist that I have my dowry. Root house people do not ask. We claim. The root house people do not build. If the Hist wants us to have a village, we take one. In an old time, we claimed this village, but we tired of it, so we burned it down. Yes, why would we not? My Goldweed Eggsire always says, burn what you cannot carry, otherwise the tribes will not make new things. Of course. The Brightthroats remember to forget. Would you have them drag grudges like stones? That is the dry skin and stone dweller way. Your questions are dry and stupid. It is our way. The root house people do not make.
Just when I needed some company.
Ah, the Zook's friend I hear so much about. Sun's blessings. I see you did not kick your feet clean before entering. Well, no matter. I will clean it up later. How can I help you? Bihuna? Ah, the root house suitor thief with the filthy spines. I would give you the dowry, Zuka's friend, but I do not know where it is. The goods keeper Oline hid it to keep the root house thugs from stealing it again. Gone to Gideon. Personal matter. He will not be back for many days, but do not fret. Nahish Oline left a reminder for him so as not to forget the dowry's location. It likely points to another reminder, and that to another. He is eccentric. The Root House people are not known for their patience or wisdom. Nahish Oline was determined not to be outwitted by the likes of them, so he invented an impossible challenge for the suitor thief. The first reminder is on the post there. Hist guide you. I fear the suitor thief has set you on a fool's errand, Biko Gel, but I'll trust you know better than I what is needed. Chief of grain counting, box stacking, and list making, he keeps our storehouse in order in his own way. He's promised to teach me his methods, eventually. For now, I sweep, carry, and keep geckos from eating our worm meal.
Just when
The
I
brewer
need-
tells me I drank all the celebration phlegm wine. Now he asks coin for more. I would thunk his head in if it was not a bonding. Find my dowry so I can leave this place. Finally, the hist provides. It sours my stomach that I had to rely on you to take what, by right, is mine. But suitors must be flexible, I guess. The custom is met. I will join in the bonding.
You look burdened, Ojel. Please, sit and let the breeze carry your cares away. The Bright Throats have brought us many nice things to share. Yes, I was. My betrothed was very kind. It's a pity I must disappoint her, but these things happen. It will be a less personal disappointment than if I were to arrive without the seed doll she gifted me for the occasion. It's the least I can do to return her kindness. Ahaj Mota snatched it out of my hands as I soaked my feet by the Gulu Bridge. Very quick, gone in an instant. Such is life. I do not know why the Hajmota would want such a thing, but the Hist must have thought it needed it. I hope it enjoys it. I see no reason why I would not join the bonding ritual, but I do not have my betrothed's seed doll. It is pointless to dwell on what's lost. A cherished bright-throat craft. They take a seed from a tree with no name, nurture it to enormous size, and allow it to sprout its roots. With much care, the roots are pared back again and again until a shape is formed. Mine resembled a Hajmota. There isn't much to tell. We were, we are, we will be. The Hist nurture us, and we nurture them. Sometimes Sithis sees fit to disrupt this cycle when it grows too ordinary, so we Mosskins find a new routine until it's time for change again. Why wrestle the world when the world will always win? We get everything we need by flowing with the stream. What's the point of struggling against it? I know Ojel don't understand. It's a shame. We would all be so much happier.
Hello again. You have been enjoying a good wallow, yes? The mud here is smooth and moist. And so the stream returns to its source. It's very pretty, isn't it? My betrothed is very skilled. It seems some of the roots have bent. I will tell her it was from my overzealous embrace. That should make her happy. The Hist has made certain I stay on this course. I will not resist its desires. Not that I would want to. I think I will enjoy the bonding ceremony.
Everyone is assembled except for the suitors. What is the word, Beak Ogel? Must I call off the bonding ritual and bring shame upon our tribe? You are a gift from the Hist, like the sweetest of saps on my lips. Come, join us for this momentous occasion. It is only fitting. We are gathered here under the boughs of our tender Hist to honor the life it gives us. Just as their roots reach out and intertwine in the mud, so too will we become entangled, bound together to weave a strong foundation. Join me in erecting the spine of procreation, sow the sap and seed of a new generation. At last, all is right with the tribe. The winds carry the lovely scents of Hist blossoms and muskreek upon the air, and soon the chimes of nuptial huts will rattle the night away. It's enough to make anyone let out their frills. The happy couples will retire to their nuptial huts to begin the process of bonding, and the next generation of Brightthroats will be born. But for us, the work is done. Let us drink, eat, dance!
I'm so happy he liked my seed doll. It's really special to have a moss skin be so sentimental.
My bonding partner is very pleasing, wouldn't you agree? She leads me like a gentle current to a place of great happiness.
My betrothed has nice adornments. They will be suitable trophies.
The bangle on her wrist looks just like the one that belongs to my egg sister. It's a little distracting, but I'll put it from my mind.
That root house suitor is very tight-skinned. You think she might return for the bonding next season?
I'm told we must wait for the hut to be prepared. Who needs a hut? Why not witness the prowess of Ruzel's heir?
Naga Koshun Konaka, Bate Isalvi Komal. Sithis hasn't made a meal of you yet, so I guess you're getting acclimated. Of course, you've been devoted in your offerings. Keep the serpent fed and it has little reason to bite. You toss souls to the void like grain to fowl. Some call me Kuvaste, but you're more like a flood. Catalyst of change, but Kuvaste rolls off the tongue so much better. Sometimes it's a person, sometimes it's a thing, but when the world gets stuck in mire, a Kuvaste is what sets things into motion again. No, I'm a shadow scale, but they're often one and the same. We are the chisel to stone. Sithis shapes the world through us, one careful cut at a time. Or sometimes it wants the slate wiped clean, and it sends someone like you. I've got my part to do, so I'll leave you to do yours. Be seeing you. Sithis hasn't made a meal of you yet, so I...
Hurry it along, all right.
Have you met my new Nord friend? She is pale and smooth as fire-to-bone clay. I went to bring her a drink and she was gone. Oh, I hope she did not think I abandoned her.
The winds have brought you back to me. Is your task complete? A tree once stood within that glade. Under its leaves, Tunzi first saw his beloved. It does not surprise me that such a powerful memory would give itself shape. Here, a reward for your kind actions. Travel in peace, friend of the moss skins. May your path be peaceful and your days sun-blessed. The Brightthroats are most kind, but my tribe needs me. I'll leave as soon as I'm healed. For now, I shall look after the moss skins attending the bonding ritual, though I doubt my services as Gravesinger will be needed. I'm afraid I cannot. Perhaps the Hist grew the tree to honor his memory, or perhaps it grew from the sorrow of our tribe, who still miss him greatly. Perhaps Tunzi's spirit resided within that gravestake, creating the tree once his last wish was granted. Precisely. I cannot tell you of a sight unseen. However, I do believe it is connected to Tunzi and his memories of that place. He would often tell the story of first seeing his beloved under the leaves of a tree.
Hello. Cassandra said you'd be here. There's news. Well, you certainly have a spring in your step. Your work with the Brightthroats went well, I take it. Splendid! Following another lead on the Remnant. Or, potential lead. Someone she worked with before she started funding Cyrodiilic collections. I don't know much more. She asked me to tell you to join them when I saw you, so I suppose you should do that. West of here, near that spooky prison. Honestly, I missed most of it. Too preoccupied by her bodyguard. Something about how he looks at me. Gives me the shivers, you know? But we have better things to discuss. What did you learn with Zukas? Ritual Argonian poetry. The words are common, but the meter is all wrong. There's more to it. Missing verses, perhaps? Truthfully, Cassandra is the authority on that sort of thing. You should set out. I'll try to dig up a few relevant texts. Smoke and sunless sap. Strange that the Brightthroat's Hist would speak in such dour terms. Maybe it describes some dark age. The Alessian incursion of the First Era? Or perhaps a dark age yet to come. Egads, let's hope it's not that. Ugh, I wish I knew. He's just the worst, right? She hired him maybe 6 months ago? I don't think Cassandra's ever received a credible threat to her life, but he's always there, leering at us. Maybe she'll sack him now that you're here. Fingers crossed. Cassandra summoned me. Honestly, it's nice to get out of the office from time to time. Thought I might take in a Tiba Inu match while I'm here. I guess it'll have to wait. I need to get back to Lilmoth to research this poem of yours. Oh, they're mostly fine, if a little shaken up. A few of them have sworn off exploring for good. Hard to blame them, I guess. Luckily, Zadaza chose to stay on. She would never let her career end with an abduction. Far too proud for that.
Kothringi or not, Drillick returned to the Hist. I don't care what my ex-sisters think.
Watch with your toes, Stibbins. Your toes. I remember you. As I recall, you were somewhat helpful the last time my manservant got into a spot of trouble. I won't turn away good fortune. You know how useless Stibbins can be when it comes to recovering historic artifacts. An antique Argonian renewal charm. Without one, they'll never let me observe the ritual of renewal, and that's the whole reason I came to this backwater in the first place. Now, if only Stibbins would stop playing in the mud and find the damn thing. I'll have you know, I paid a lot for that information. But Stibbins is exceedingly slow and requires constant supervision. Why, I can't even spare a moment to look for the hand mirror he lost. Would you mind ever so much finding it for me, please? That hand mirror is a family heirloom. I can't bear the thought of never seeing it again. In the meantime, I need to keep prodding my manservant. If I give Stibbins even a moment's reprieve, he'll find a way to laze about. He's ever so good at that. He'd have me believe he's doing his job, but I suspect he's using the opportunity to daydream and dawdle. Stibbins probably determined that the charm wasn't down there fairly quickly. Then he decided to relax with a soak in the mud. I believe it has something to do with Argonian mating habits, but I'm not quite sure. Hence my desire to observe the annual ritual. I have a keen interest in the romantic tendencies of different cultures. Purely on an academic level, you understand. I've been researching the mating habits of the indigenous races. Fascinating stuff. I plan to write a book. A reference to an Argonian ritual of renewal I came across intrigued me, but the details were vague, so we traveled here to investigate. Why, whatever do you mean? I'm quite sure that if anything untoward happened to my manservant, I'd be the first to know. Besides, Stibbins may seem frail and sluggish, but I have no idea where I was going with that line of reasoning.
I heard Milady ask you to recover her favorite hand mirror. I'll have you know, I only dropped it because that wild beast frightened the hair right off my head. It's a monster. Be ever so careful or it will tear you to ribbons.
It's no use. Pockets have been picked clean.
Nothing
Help!
is ever.
I say help!
Stibbins has gotten himself stuck fast. How typical. Stibbins got himself into the mud without any help, but now he can't seem to extract himself. Oh, be a dear and see if you could get him unstuck.
Much thanks. That wasn't as pleasant as you might expect.
A less famous treasure hunter might think the Argonians wanted to foil her efforts to locate a renewal charm. But Lady Laurent is not so easily deterred. We are going to find one of those charms, even if Stibbins has to search the entire swamp. It's used in the mysterious ritual of renewal that one particular tribe of Argonians conducts on an annual basis. Carved from the living root of their history, or so I've been led to believe. They won't let an outsider attend the rite without one. That's hard to say. Mostly because no one will give me a definitive answer. As far as I can tell, it's somehow connected to the tribe's breeding practices. The closest I got was when many whispers offered to point me towards a charm. For a price. Gold. An obscene amount, truth be told. Look, Stibbins is reliable, but he has his failings. So many, many failings. Will you accompany him to many whispers in the Swallowed Grove? Help him confront the lying Argonian and get me one of those charms? After you and Stibbins confront many whispers, meet me at the Lodge of Renewal. It's north of the Brightthroat village, out in the middle of nowhere. Come to think of it, everything out here is in the middle of nowhere. But I'm sure you'll find it. He's an Argonian, a scout of some kind. Knows the swamp like a bear knows honey. Many Whispers was willing to talk to me when so many of his fellows wouldn't give me the time of day. I'm not sure Argonians can tell time, but you get my point. I gave him a small fortune in gold. He may have sent us here in good faith, or he may have tried to cheat me. I will not be fleeced. Besides, as far as I can tell, he is the best scout in the area. If there's a charm to be had, he'll know about it.
I'm glad you agreed to accompany me. I had a bad feeling about many whispers from the first moment we met. Trust isn't something that comes naturally to well-trained manservants. As far as many whispers is concerned, he's taken an aggressive interest in visitors investigating objects of historical significance. It is when one of those interested parties happens to be Milady Clarisse Laurent. But you'll see what I mean when we get to the Swallowed Grove. Just head north and I'll meet you there.
Get going, Stibbins, and do try to redeem yourself this time.
Right away, milady. Just let me catch my breath.
Good, you're here.
If you've got something to say, say it to Cassandra. Mud in your ears? I do for Cassandra what you do for Famia, except I'm better at it. I know Murkmire better than most. Want some advice? Of course you do. Surviving Murkmire isn't about maps or guides or good manners. It's about strength. Strength to do what's necessary. All the time. Yeah, maybe one day you'll get a chance to show me. That could be fun. Someone like me? Huh. Funny. You're funny. Truth is, she came looking for me. Cassandra's got an eye for talent. She wants results. I deliver. Huh. You think I do this for the gold? Of course I don't. And neither do you. You and me, we do what we do. Rich, poor, or in between. Don't act like you're one of these workaday sheep. False modesty's beneath us.
You found us. Good. As you can see, we've met with some difficulty. I apologize for the unsightliness. Were your inquiries in Brightthroat Village fruitful? Murder, apparently. The victim was Hitsasi, a former associate. Not so pleasant or learned as Famia, but still useful in his own way. He traveled in less reputable circles. I had hoped he could shed some light on the blackguard's plans. That is what we are trying to determine. Whatever happened, it was neither clean nor brief. What a waste. If the blackguards came after him, Hitsasi must have known something about the Remnant after all. Look around and see what you can find. His throat was cut. Simple bandages weren't enough to staunch the bleeding, it seems. What have you found? Show them to me, if you would. Pages torn from Hitsatsi's journal. I do not mean to speak ill of the dead, but I must admit some surprise. He never struck me as someone committed enough to keep a journal. If he knew about the Remnant, this could prove invaluable. So, the blackguards have learned what we already know. The truth of the Remnant cannot be torn from my eggkin because they do not know it. Only their tribal relics can provide the answers. How did you learn the Brightthroat's riddle? You see, the voice of the Hist needs a conduit, some physical means of communication. The Blackguards failed to acquire the Brightthroat's chime, but they clearly mean to steal some relic from the Deadwater tribe. Bold. Or spectacularly stupid. Precisely. You know one of the tribe's calls, don't you? Jaxic Orn, if I recall correctly. Find her, and plead our case. If the Deadwater tribe has some way of learning more about the Remnant, we need to find it before the Blackguards do. Safe travels. When you've concluded your business with the Deadwater tribe, meet me back at Cyrodiilic Collection's headquarters in Lilmuth. We're getting close. I can almost feel it. Please, don't mistake my stoic demeanor for a lack of enthusiasm. All of this is tremendously exciting. But, in answer to your inquiry, yes, the primacy of these relics is a thrilling discovery. It supports a theory of mine about the Hist. Well, I wrote a treatise on the subject some years ago, a brisk 400 pages. But I suppose I can give you a summary. Argonians share a special relationship with their Hist. They hear its will, taste its decrees. Yes, well, that's just it. I can't hear the Hist. When I place my hands on the Hist's bark or rest in the shadow of its boughs, I hear nothing. No whispers, no faint smells or soothing tones. Just silence. Deafening silence. Thank you. I admit the silence troubles me, but do you see? My eggkin sometimes need intermediaries too. With these antiquities, the chimes, the Deadwater relic, and eventually the Remnant itself, perhaps I'll finally hear something.
My eyes widen in surprise. Why do you come to Black Rose Prison? I attempt to work up the courage to hobble back to the Deadwater village. But only I sit, my will as broken as this leg. To my great dishonor, I was captured alive by the Blackguards. They planned to ransom me, but my tribe refused. That was when I was put in their gauntlet. A series of harrowing battles, one after another. My leg shattered. I waited for a swift death, an honorable warrior's end. Instead, they let me go. They knew that the shame of returning to my village, broken and dishonored, would be far worse a fate.
Run, you Kuda. They're going to attack.
Now you're done for.
Free at last.